this month again, we're looking at really building up our energy around the heart space and just starting to shift any of the heavier, denser energies of winter and more of the colder months where we feel a little bit more inwardly drawn. We're just working to really open up the heart space to start to pour more energy into the lungs, into the heart on a physical level, but also to really build up our sense of vitality, our sense of motivation for life, wanting to be more outward, connected to the world. And we can access that through the heart space. So as we work into a little bit of backbending, heart opening, and lateral work, just gently encouraging the tissues and the muscles and the joints all around the heart to become more open, become more receptive, become more connected to the external world, and to really build this sense of vibrancy and light in the heart. So again, working in this sense of revitalization and invigoration, so we can really start to shed off anything that's weighing a little bit heavy on our bodies, on our minds, and move into more of a vibrant space. So we start to call in the energy of spring. And in Ayurveda, we look at moving out of Kapha, which is more of this dense earth energy, and more into Pitta, so which is moving towards summer energy, more heat and fire. So it's a really nice way of just slowly shifting with these seasons. So we'll start laying down. If you just grab some extra props, so have a couple of blocks or cushions, a blanket, and if you have a bolster or a long cushion, grab that as well. And I'll just keep it off to the side for the moment, and we'll come back to that. So just some very gentle side body opening, working into recline position. So if you come to lay down onto your back, take your legs out long, and just take a moment just to resettle through your spine, through your shoulders. So finding a nice length at the back of the neck, and then walking off your right ankle to just off the right side of your mat. And you can either bring your left foot beside, or I prefer to cross the ankle over, so you've got a bit more of a lock there, and start to feel a bit more space opening up in the left side hip. And then taking the arms up over your head, grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand, and gently pull your body over to the right side. You can have a little bend into your elbows to take some slack out, and resting the backs of the hands down onto the mat. Again, shuffle through the shoulders so you feel nice and open across the chest. And then just rest in here, both hips glued down, shoulders glued down to the mat. And if it feels nice, you can look across to the left side, or it might even feel nicer to drop your head to the right. So just feel into where it feels best for your neck. And taking a few rounds of breath, just feeling into the gentle stretch down that left side. So open the clasp with a few spaces around the chest, bringing that sense of vitality into the body, and then close it down with some more twist and forward fold, just to ground all that lovely opening, expansive energy into the body. But as we raise the energy up towards the heart, we're putting more of the energy up in the spine, in the chakra systems, and it brings much more of an energizing, solarizing energy to the body, to the mind. As we're practicing a little bit later in the day, we want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves in that grounded, calm, steady space. So when we take in more energy, we take in more life. We feel this sense of excitement, of vitality kind of pulsing through the body. And this can sometimes spin off the mind. So we're practicing to just keeping the back of the neck long, chin tucking into the chest, so that we keep Jalandhara Bandha, the chin lock, activated, helps the energy to stay contained in the heart. So we're not losing any energy up into the mind, it's staying in the heart space, and also keeping the energy of forward folds and twists within the practice at this time of day. This allows us to feel that vibrancy, but to keep it nice and steady. So I'm not here for too much longer on this left side, just a few more breaths. So take a final round of breath where you are. And then you can slowly take the left leg back to center, right foot comes back, and guide the upper body back through to center. Just shuffle through the arms, take the hands back down. So that feels good to just release your shoulders for a moment. And pause here, just fill up that left side of your body. So you feel more energy moving, more vitality, just more connection. Feel any buzzing of energy. And then we take it to the right side. So left foot comes off of the mat and you can cross the right ankle, taking the arms back up overhead, hold on to the right wrist this time with the left hand, and pull the upper body over as far as feels comfortable, whilst keeping the hips and shoulders glued to the floor. And again, finding where is most comfortable for your head to look. And allow your body to settle back into the pose. Breath stays normal, no need to change the breath at all. Just breathe in a way that feels good, right for your body. And just allowing the breath to open more space in between the ribs and the muscles and intercostal muscles, but also much more into the deeper layers of the body, into the connective tissue. And so quite often we find in between the rib cage and around the sides of the chest is quite tight. And we have our arms down by our side all the time, not really allowing that space to have much conscious awareness. Don't often feel the breath moving into that part of the body, so it becomes tighter over time. Just a simple flexion of the spine on the side might feel a little bit strong. But over time, as you allow the breath to move into those spaces, it creates more flexibility, more mobility. But we want to really hone in on the most deeper levels and layers, down into the joints, into the ligaments which connect the bone to the bone, and all of the fascial network, which creates much more fluidity, mobility in the body. So I'll see for a few more moments. Take a final round breath here on this side. Now slowly guide your legs back through to center, taking the upper body back to center alignment and releasing the arms down again beside the side body. And just take a moment to pause, feel up the right side body here. So working a little bit deeper into the heart space, creating a bit more of an opening, but also keeping the chin lock. We'll work through some bridge. So you may want to use some blocks here beside, underneath your hip. So if you keep them beside your hip or your bolster, and just gently walk your feet in towards you. So the feet on the floor, knees bent. And you can just touch the back of the heel with your fingertips. Find a nice length through the back of your neck, and on your inhale, gently push into your feet, lift your hips up, and then slide the block underneath. So you can take the blocks either stacked, or you can take it onto its lowest setting, mid setting, or highest setting. The highest setting might be quite strong, so just feel into what is working for your body at this moment. And take a little wriggle through the back of the pelvis so you feel that you can just nestle the pelvis, the lower back, into that support underneath you. And you want to be resting on your sacrum. So there's no, the majority of the weight is being held under your pelvis. And then the feet, don't feel that they're pushing down too much. You can have a nice softness to the legs. And the arms can either be out to the side, or you can take the arms up over your head. Just resting down through the backs of the hands, wherever feels most comfortable for you. If you wanted to increase more flow into the lungs, taking the arms up over the head is going to migrate the chi flow into the lungs more fully. We're here for a few minutes, 3 minutes. So feeling into your breath, you may not feel that you can breathe as strongly into the belly. So I want to encourage more breath into the rib cage and into the upper lobes of the lungs, more around the collarbone area. The gentle weight of your body pressing on the tops of the shoulder, around the trap area, base of the neck, will give you a nice release if you have any neck and shoulder pain when you come out. So really allow the muscles around the neck and shoulders to spread and soften. All the weight just gently compressing the length of the neck as well, giving the spinal ligaments a nice stretch. And quite often we are rounded over a desk or rounding forwards, driving. The body is so used to leaning forward, always looking at a phone, so the head is dropping forward. So to have this opening in the heart space, the front of the body, is a really lovely way of just combating that forward rounding that our society often encourages. If you wanted to increase the stretch, you can take your feet a little bit further away from you. Either feet stay flat to the mat, or stretching the legs out longer and resting the heels onto the floor, or just increase the opening into the pelvis, into the hips. Here for just 1 more minute. Final couple of breaths here. And if you took the feet or legs out long, slowly walk your feet in towards you. Take the arms down again beside the hips if you raise them over the head. Gently push into the feet and lift the hips up. Move your prop, blocks, bolster out to the side and gently come back down onto the floor. And take a moment just to pause here. Awareness in and around the heart space. Little counter just to rebalance. Bringing the knees into the chest, hug around the shins or around the back of the thigh. And give the legs a good squeeze in towards your body, keeping the back of the neck long, chin tucked to chest, shoulders relaxed. And breathe in deep into the belly. Feels nice to take a little rock side to side. You can do that. Rolling through the back of the head, the shoulders, the lower back. You can use your elbow to push you side to side. Just a few more moments here. Nice, and then roll off to a side and gently bring yourself up to all fours. So working a little bit more into the heart, we'll take Sphinx or seal pose. So if you bring yourself all the way down to the mat, slowly lower yourself down and take your feet towards the corners of your mat. So you can use props underneath your chest if that helps you. You may like to take a bolster underneath your chest or underneath the rib cage to prop you up. You may like to take your forearms onto the bolster and rest your forehead down if that feels strong enough. Maybe resting your forehead to a block. Or if it works for you to come up and hold seal pose, just taking your hands off of the mat, turn the fingertips out, and with your inhale, slowly lift up. You want to keep the hip bones connected into the mat, so there's no lifting of the pelvis off. And you're feeling just a gentle tuck of the tailbone down towards the heels. You can relax the legs, and you're feeling the shoulder blades glide down the back. So you're really presenting the heart forward and opening the chest. So taking whichever variation gives you the most support and most comfort whilst working into the edge of your stretch. We're just stressing the tissues, the connective tissue around the heart to open. You want to feel a nice lengthening in the ligaments of the spine. And all around the sternum, feel a nice opening in the center of your heart. And utilize your breath to enable you to deepen into those spaces, to bring more awareness into the space. Also creating a lovely curve in the lower back, which is often taken out by the way that we live in this society. A lot of sitting down creates a bumping into the lower back, compression into the lumbar spine, and we don't often have a capacity to move into this range of flexion when we're sat at a chair all day. So to hold these postures for a few minutes every day is super beneficial. It's keeping the spine mobile, flexible, and its natural curve in place. So we're here for just 1 more minute. If you'd like to increase the stretch, please do feel free to come up higher into seal. And if you need to regress it, come down lower, please do listen to your body. Just here for 1 more minute. So if you took seal, gently bringing your body down, and if you took any props underneath you, moving them out to the side or rolling them forward, just let your body come down to the floor. You can make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead down onto your hands. Just take a moment here. It feels good to take some movement into the lower back. You can bend the knees and windshield wiper the lower legs just to release any tension in your lower back. Or maybe even just wiggling the hips or rolling the feet in and out will suffice. Nice. So with your next inhale, bring your hands beside your chest, rock your toes, push through your hands and knees, and just come back to an all fours position. Neutral spine, gaze is towards the floor. And you can either stay here in an all fours position or take your hands slightly back forward, tuck the toes under and push up into plank. So you want to feel the tailbone lengthen down, slight doming of the upper back of the neck stays nice and long, and pull the navel back to the spine. Hold in here for a few breaths, just countering the back bend and creating a bit more space in the waist, the lower back. Breathe in here. Nice. If you took plank, drop the knees down. You can tuck the toes flat again, untuck the toes, sorry, and gently push back into child. So just taking the hips back, little counter pose to stretch out the lower back, back of the waist. If it's too much for your head to be rested on the floor, you can grab a block and just bring it underneath your forehead. And you may, let's take your knees slightly wider as you create a bit more space for your stomach so you can breathe more easily. Arms can be straight out or elbows rested to the floor, or you can bring your hands back to rest beside your heels. Just take a moment to pause here. So we're going to add a little bit more onto the child's pose, taking a lateral side body stretch. So if you just gently lift your body up and over to the left side, place your belly down onto that left thigh and walk your hands all the way round to your left. And again, you can bring your forehead to a block, or just let your head hang in between your biceps. And really push back from the hands so you're feeling a deep stretch down the whole right side of the spine, and down that right side body, you're feeling it nice and open. Rest in here for a few minutes. With the next inhalation, gently guide your body back up through to center and walk yourself over to the right side, lifting your body up and over, placing the belly down onto that right thigh. And arms go all the way out to the right side of your mat. Sit bones push back into the heels and just pausing here for a couple of moments. Gently walking yourself back round to the center of your mat. And you can walk yourself in and come to sit back onto the heels for a moment here. Just feeling into that expansion down the sides of your body. Often feel a real liberation of energy as the side body holds a lot of stuck, stagnant energy. So feeling of vibrancy, vitality. Okay, so we're moving into the peak shape, which is a really lovely heart opening back bend. And you can take a couple different variations of this one. So the most simple variation would be to sit onto your heels or to sit onto some blocks stacked up. And take your fingertips back behind you. You want to roll your shoulder blades together, squeeze the shoulder blades in, and that will lift your heart up. Again, keep the chin tucked into the chest, but the back of the neck nice and long. So feel that you're energizing up and out through the crown of your head. And you can just breathe here. So we're working into camel. Or second variation would be to come up onto the knees. If you're working with anything in the knees, please take some extra padding. So use your blanket underneath the knee joint. And you can take the blocks, if you're using them, back behind you, and you want them about in line with your foot, and the toes are tucked or feet are flat, whatever feels best for your body. And again, just pushing in and lifting up and back. Or second variation would be to lift the hips off and push back. So you're really pushing the sit bones, you're pushing the hip bones forward, and you're lengthening up and away. So there's a nice space. Or you can work this with your hands instead. So if it feels more supportive, take your hands around to your lower back and then lift up. You want to feel the tailbone tucking down and under, shoulder blades squeeze in, and then you can lean back into that spaciousness in your lower back. But just here for 1 minute, so find whichever variation gives you the most support. Deepest variation would be to hold on to the heels and work from here. So take whatever feels most beneficial. Nice. And really open the whole front line of your body. Feel the back of the body long, so the tailbone tucks under and the crown of the head stretches back whilst you're keeping your chin tucked into the chest. And then allow your breath to really open into your heart space. You can close down the eyes if that helps you to draw more in. And a nice steady breath. So do not hold the breath. Keep the breath flowing effortlessly, just here for another 30 seconds or so. Final round of breath. Gently peel your head forward, bring your hands to your lower back, push the hips back, come to sit back onto your heels. Take a moment just to pause, to rest here. Feel into that sensation, vibrancy in the heart space. All of the lovely opening around the upper back, around the side of the chest, the breastbone, and all of the connective tissues around the sternum, around the breastbone opened, and a real sense of vibrancy moving in that space. So we'll finish with just a very simple twist and a forward fold. So if you feel comfortable as you are, stay sitting back onto the heels. Otherwise, you might want to grab 2 blocks and bring them underneath your sit bones and then in between your feet. So whether they're width ways or long ways, just find a comfortable position. And then find a nice long tall spine, and we'll take the twist to the left side first. So I'm going to do the same as you. Take in your right fingertips to the edge of the left thigh. Left fingertips can go behind you, or you can take them round to your lower back or thread that around. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, deepen into the twist. So turning from the navel and from the breastbone. And now allow the breath to feel more into the lower belly, more abdominal. allowing a smooth, steady, balanced, and equal breath. In and exhale equal on the left, right side of your body. And if on your exhalations you can deepen into the twist, just see it for a few more moments. Nice, and then with the next inhalation, D, rotate, come back through to center, pause for a moment. And then take left hand outside the edge of right thigh, right fingertips behind you or slide around the lower back. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, twist from the navel, from the breastbone. Use your breath to deepen into the twist. The last few moments here. So your next inhale, gently de-rotate, come back through to center, and just pause for a moment, feel in and exhale, rebalance the spine. Nice, and we'll finish with a forward fold. So you have a couple options for this one. You don't often do snail, but it's a really nice one to bring the stretch right up into the neck as well. So if you wanted to take a deeper forward fold, I'll show you for removing. If you come more towards the bottom end of your mat, make sure that you've got enough space behind you. And then come to lay down onto your back. Bring your hands down beside your hips. Keep your knees in towards your body. And then use your legs to flick you up and over. So if your feet are off the floor, you can either press down into your arms or support your lower back. And you can also drop the weight a little bit more so it's more in the shoulder blade area rather than the base of the neck. If you can get your toes to the floor, you can do that and keep your arms behind you, or you can hold on to the feet, the shins. So that's one option. It is quite strong, so just feel into what feels good for your body at this moment. Otherwise, simple forward fold. You can take a rolled up blanket underneath your sit bones or underneath the back of your knees. And just allowing yourself to fold in. You want to really let the curve in the spine happen. So chin tucks the chest and slowly roll yourself in. Curve in the upper back. Arms can rest out to the sides or can hold on to the legs. But keeping that nice curve in your back. So drawing all of the energy in and down, no matter if you're in snail or forward folds. The forward fold draws apana, the energy, the wind that moves downward into this space of grounding for the mind, allowing us to really eliminate anything that we've shifted, and just a lovely stretch for the spine to send us into a more comfortable, calm space for rest and meditation. So here for around another 8 breaths or so. Really allow all of the muscles, all of the space around the spine to soften so you can get deeper into the ligaments. Last few breaths in. Nice. So the next inhale, if you're in snail, use your hands as a brake on the floor to roll yourself down very slowly. Keep your core nice and tight and take your time to come out. If you're in a forward fold, forward bend, gently pad yourself back up to a lifted position. And we're working our way down to the floor, so you can hug your knees into the chest or take some sways through the legs, roll the feet in and out, any movements that feel good. And then set yourself up for Shavasana. So take in a small pillow or a folded blanket underneath your head. You can take a bolster or a rolled blanket under the back of the knees. And if you like to take an eye mask over your eyes, or maybe taking the lights lower or turn the lights off is an option. Just finding your way down to the floor. And have your arms open away from the body as much as feels comfortable, and your legs gently open so the feet can fall out and they're not closed off through your hips. Just pause for a moment and rest here, feeling the body. Just moving into a state of awareness and tuning into the different shifts of energy, flow of chi moving through your body. Very, very subtle movements of energy. Looking for any flushes of energy, heat, coolness, space, any pulsing, vibrating energy. Feeling any other parts of your body drop in relaxation. feel more alert and vibrant. Take a moment here to tune into your flow of chi. Gently remembering your breath. And as you remember your breath, taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose. And sighing the breath out. You inhale again, feeling some energy move into your hands, your feet. Taking any circles, stretches, scrunches of the hands and feet that feel good. And taking the stretch out into a full body stretch or a star stretch. And slowly guiding your feet to the floor, knees bent. Taking some gentle sways of the knees side to side. And hugging the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice big squeeze and a couple of rocks side to side. And then rolling off to one side, just take a moment to pause on your side. And gently lifting yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And take either shins or siddhasana, cross legs. And we'll close just with a few moments of watching the breath. Shamatha is to just simply watch the breath. So no need to change the breath at all. No need to alter, modify. Just simply being with the breath and feeling into this space of observance, just witnessing how the breath is moving your body. Noticing the quality of your breath. But find a comfortable seated position. Really lengthen up the spine, so the shoulders relaxed down the back. And the hands can just rest onto the knees or the thighs, wherever feels most comfortable. And simply follow the flow of your breath. Noticing where the body moves as you breathe. Noticing if any parts of your body still meet at a resistance. Again, not needing to change or modify, but just simply witnessing and observing your body breathe. Feel into the depth of your breath. Notice the quality of your breath. And observing to see if there are any changes as you breathe and pause here. Just for the next 2 minutes, be with your breath. Taking just the last couple of moments here with your breath. And then gently guiding your hands into prayer. Anjali Mudra, resting the thumbs into the heart space, connecting into that beautiful portal of light, truth, and vitality. And may you keep your heart space wide open. Allow the true essence of yourself to shine forth into the world. And may you feel revitalized, invigorated, and full of life as you keep your heart space open. Bowing your heads down in gratitude to yourself, to your practice, to each other, and to the teachers before. Namaste.